right, some of you may remember last summer I discussed LifeWise Academy. That's a Christian ministry that brings weekly Bible lessons to public school children during school hours. And the ministry has experienced phenomenal success and growth. It now has chapters in more than 300 different schools. They're reaching some 35,000 students. But with that kind of success comes a backlash. Recently, NBC News attempted to publish a hit piece on this ministry, stoking fears somehow that LifeWise is blurring the line between separation of church and state. Well, to join me now to discuss all this is Joel Penton. He is the CEO of LifeWise Academy. And Joel, great to have you.
Jody, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Well, listen, I was impressed with the ministry last time we talked, and listen, I said it a little while ago, you know you're doing something right when you get hit pieces by places like NBC News. They try to hit you, but quite frankly, it didn't look to me like they really landed a punch. Would you agree with that?
Well, they didn't really land many solid punches, as you said. Some of the things they pointed out as what they saw are flaws in the approach were honestly somewhat comical. I think my favorite was them being concerned that we give all our kids T-shirts that come to the program, that the kids wearing matching T-shirts is somehow problematic. So, yeah, I think they were grasping at things. What they did, though, is that they left out some key things. We shared with them the really amazing results that we're seeing, that schools care about, that parents care about, and they left out all those positive results.
I am shocked that they left out all the positive. I mean, who would expect NBC to leave out what you're really accomplishing? It just, that's what I say. You're on the right track when you have enemies like this coming after you. But you guys now are reaching more than 35,000 students. And it seems to me, quite frankly, NBC struggled to find anyone who had a bad word to say about LifeWise. Other than, you've got your usual suspects like the Freedom from Religion Foundation, but you guys are doing a great job, and everybody knows it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and that is what we're seeing. And quite frankly, it is very, very rare that we get really any significant pushback. Of course, there's always a very small, very vocal minority of people that are Bible, anti-religion. However, what we're seeing in school districts is that the schools love us coming in because they're seeing an increase in attendance. They're seeing behavioral issues decrease. We have an independent study that shows this much, that school suspensions are going down. Parents love it. Even parents who aren't believers, even parents who don't enroll their kids, they realize that it's entirely optional. They can sign their kids up if they want to. And so we are very optimistic, and we're excited that through LifeWise, public school students can receive Bible education during school hours. We see a viable path of reinstalling Bible education for the public school system across the nation. And so we're not too concerned about the naysayers.
And like you said, as these kids are getting Bible education, it's changing them. It's changing their behavior, their attitudes, and as a result, you're getting the incredible outcomes that NBC failed to mention. Now, let me lay this out the way I see it. And just respond to this, but we are watching the indoctrination that the left is forcing into our schools, pushing things like the LGBT ideology. It seems to me that is what all of this is really all about. These people don't like children learning lessons from the Bible when those lessons are contradicting the message of their agenda. Would you kind of lay it out like that? Am I barking up the right tree that that's really what this battle is all about?
It's hard to come to other conclusions because, again, when you point out that there are incredible results, that schools are seeing increased attendance, they're seeing improved behavior, when you point out that the schools don't pay, the parents don't pay, when you point out that there's no negative effect on students who don't participate and it's entirely optional, when you point out all these things and someone still has trouble with it, you do start to realize they just don't want people to learn the Bible. They don't want kids exposed to the biblical message, which is preposterous. And so, yeah, it's hard to come to conclusions other than there's a clash in worldview. And so that's why we're so grateful that this is so clearly legal. The Supreme Court has backed it. Now state laws are in place. And again, we're optimistic that we can see this in school districts across the nation.
And it is so hypocritical for these people to come after you, to come after LifeWise, come after other Christian ministries or whatever, because you're indoctrinating these children when that is exactly what they are doing, and they are doing it on the worst of things, just brainwashing these children to believe in some of the worst things ever. It is what they are doing, and they don't want your voice there. They don't want your influence there. They don't want the influence of parents there. Now, all of that, Joel, let me wrap up with this. There are no doubt people watching, listening right now who would love to support what you do. They would love to bring a LifeWise chapter to their own local school. So what can they do? What's their next step?
Well, I'm so very glad you asked. We would love for everyone who has any interest in what you're hearing. Again, Bible education for public school students during school hours. It's really possible everywhere. So if you want to know more for yourself, if you want to find out if there's already a movement underway in your area or how you could get connected, go to lifewise.org. That's our website, LIFEWISE. It's very simple to get a program started in your community. In fact, it starts with local individuals voicing their support, signing their name. It's a signature campaign. So you can go to our website. You can find any school district in the nation. We've now heard from school districts in all 50 states. Find your school district, voice your support, share the concept. We would love to work with you to bring the Bible to your local public school students.
Well, thank you so much, Joel Penton with LifeWise Academy. I hope you hear from people. We need more and more LifeWise Academies all across the country. Thank you for joining us.